Hi Tea Society, welcome back to the Antisocial Planet, and today we are checking out Suna's Mirage. Now, this is because we need to celebrate her birthday, okay? And sacrifices must therefore be made for the sake of birthday celebrations. I, personally, am not ready for this. I don't think there is any context in which I will be ready for this, because every time that I focus in on Suna individually, right, for whether that is like covers or performances or whatever, she always surprises me with what she has in store. And I know that she's talented. I'm going into this being like, I'm gonna love this song, the vocals are gonna be great, I'm gonna add this to my main playlist that I listen to all the time. I understand what I'm about to walk into, and yet she is going to pull out some kind of trick that makes me question everything I thought I knew. I'm not ready. But again, we must celebrate her birthday. She deserves it. So we're going to be checking out this song. Pray for me. At the very least, I am saved from suffering, at least from the visuals, because there isn't a music video. So we're just going to be listening to the song. However, I know that there's a live performance. I'm not going to be checking it out in this video, but if you know a good version of it and you would like to leave that suggestion in the comments, who knows what'll happen. But for this video, we're just going to be listening to the song because, quite frankly, it's too much. You know, between like doing a bunch of Misumo stuff, trying to like kind of catch up on some of that, and also getting into Twice strategy release, I need a break. I need a break to touch some grass and not be attacked from all of them simultaneously. So we'll save it for another day. All right, just fine. Go ahead. I was gonna say it sounds fun, but now it sounds slightly... I'm actually offended by how good this is so far. Did my ears hear brass at the beginning? Are you just gonna give more like chest part of her range, right? And then she just kind of flips up into that falsetto, and then like a lighter sound, and then she gives like a little more oomph there at the end. Just... That is some brass instruments. Okay. A little cry in her voice there. Ooh, the bass coming through. The vocal melody too. Okay, several things. One, the beat pad was already good, but then we got the bass coming through. I love a rhythm section. Second, the vocal melody choices. They're so good. They're all over the place. Again, like I was saying, she's just doing everything with her voice in this. We've got the falsetto, we've got the upper range, we got the lower range, we got the chest voice, we got the little cries that she's putting in at different points. We got points where she like softens out her voice, it's more like airy, and then points where she's like getting more closure with her vocal cords. Also, had the line touch me, and I'm like, I thought we had a whole song that was do not touch. I thought that was the assignment. It's a dream, I guess, so it's almost like a, again, like translation wise, could also be like, you know, like, so you say like pinch me to like make sure that you're not dreaming, right? Like that's the knowing that this is something tangible, right? Like we even have like Mirage, like that's something that you think is there but it's not real, so like a hallucination. So it could also just be like needing something that you need, like that kind of like tactile confirmation. The way that she did like the first like Mirage though, the way that she dang, I feel like I'm just gonna have like scrunched face because like what? What is this voice sample? No, I need the voices not to be in the back. No, okay, this whole like call and response thing, but also my heart is shaking, my brain, everything. It was like, shake. Okay, just to like help myself get through. But like, I think it's really interesting the way that the language is kind of playing with this idea of like mirage and light and illusion and dream. Even like my mind is getting distant, like this like weird almost, I'm assuming it's like a love song that we're dealing with of some kind. I'm assuming, but it is like in and of itself the lyrics, because I'm trying to actually pay attention to lyrics and actually gauge what we're talking about. For me anyway, seems like a little bit also indistinct, which may be on purpose. It's more about that like instance of feeling like something has affected you so greatly that it doesn't feel real, and you get like this strange like almost out of body experience or shift in your reality, because it's such an impactful thing that happens to you, whether or not that is a love song or falling for somebody or a feeling, right? Like even just like performance wise, when you're performing on stage, there is like a certain like adrenaline to that, and there can be moments where you're on stage and you think like, I'm actually performing in front of people who like are here to see me and appreciate the stuff that I'm making. And like there is like this strange moment that I've had like a few times performing on stage like that, where it does feel like this thing that like is intangible, because you're so focused on the performance part of it that you just have that moment of like realizing what you're allowed to be doing, right? Like that people are kind of supporting you to do, is to like, for me anyway, it was like plays and stuff. You're paying to watch me play pretend, which is wild, right? So it could also be some of that. The vocals, though. I need this like call and response to not happen, though. Oh, the bass is good. Transitions are clean. I love the whistle, too. Feels like your voice resonates, so like, again, maybe crowd, but also maybe a specific person. I beg your pardon? I beg your pardon. This is beautiful, though. Her voice is gorgeous here. I just don't know what to do with the last line of this bridge. You have to like falling in love with the voice sample, too. Great sustained note. I love the layered vocals during this part too. Maybe, I don't know, the voice sample is so distorted that I don't know if they're actually saying love or not. But also, like, the way that she says mirage in that, like, really, like, falsetto, like, thin, high note, even, like, makes that word itself, like, less tangible, right? Like, it's really airy, it's really light, it's really up there in her range, that, like, even that feels like very floaty and less solid than the other lyrics like around it, which I also think is really interesting. Great song though. Like I'm definitely gonna be listening to this a bunch after this. Again, like this might be part of the song because the whole song's thing is like it's this feeling of unrealness or intangible, right? Like this dream state that I'm not entirely sure what the song was about. Other than that feeling, like that, like out of body, floaty, everything feels unreal and dreamy feeling. Like it's like dipping into that moment, that emotion of like when everything feels like your life kind of gets disheveled, but like in a positive way. I'm assuming I didn't get any like weird ominous vibes from it. So definitely let me know down in the comments all of your ideas. And I know she's probably talked about it in some capacity because I do know that they have like the little like docu-series episodes that has like all the members, which I haven't checked out yet because I haven't done the whole album. But probably talked about it at some point since it's her solo song. I mean, just doing everything with her voice in that song. And again, because she I don't know, she's like the strange chameleon. Like every time that I think that I've pinned down Sana's voice, she does something. Like there are moments whenever a new song comes out from Twice where it's like the lyric video is like, this is Sana saying, I'm like, is it? Are you sure? And then I watch the music video and sure enough, she's the one lip syncing to it. And I'm like, oh, what? When did your voice sound like that? Because early on in me checking out Twice, I was like, oh, she has such a distinct tone, because I feel like she gets so many parts that are like very cutesy, right? And especially at the beginning of Twice's career, that was like way more of what they were leaning into, right? Was the kind of like girl crush, cutesy vibe to all their songs. So having Sana's voice that has like this very like bright, pingy, forward sound and like tone, and it just cuts through everything, fits so well with that vibe, right? Like the shy, 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 right? Like that just works with her voice so well that she had all those kind of like cutesy parts. Whereas as they develop and I check out more of their more recent comeback stuff, and they've, you know, matured a lot in the kinds of stuff that they're talking about in their sound overall, she just keeps doing all of these cool things with her voice. And I feel like this song, she just did like all of it. She was just like, okay, let me show you everything that I've done and like developed also, right? Like the beginning of their career was before she had gone through a bunch of progress of like being a performer and training her voice and having all the experience, right? Like just performing for that number of years, you're going to get better at it, right? And you're going to perfect some of the things that your voice like kind of leans into. So the fact that she's just developed a lot more from the beginning of their career to now means that she can do a lot of different things. And in this one, she just did like a little bit of everything. She's like, do you want the lower part of my range or the upper part of my range? You want some nice falsetto? You want some more like belting notes? You want some like little like vocal fry and cry moments to like texture parts of it? You want like the vocal melodies were just like so interesting and all over the place. And overall, bop. Great song. I mean, the bass line was great. The production was great. There were some interesting samples in it. And it just like oddly like had like this really solid like rhythm section, which I think is really interesting given that like the whole vibe of the song was like talking about dreams and mirages and like illusions. And then you just have this really solid like bass and percussion to pull through the song so that she had the space to do a bunch of stuff with her voice, right? Like she could have a thinner sound with her voice because you had that like beat going through that was like making sure that there was like a solid bass literally to everything that was going on in the song. So just like overall, I want to know thoughts. I want to know what you guys think, because like my brain was like, I'm not entirely sure where we're going with this other than like maybe a like love at first sight vibe, because we had like your voice resonates makes me feel like it's maybe also connected to like performance of like hearing like the cheers and kind of that moment of kind of overwhelm of like realizing that you get to have this moment, this opportunity, like this is like a dream that you have made reality, and therefore it feels dreamy and intangible. I don't know. Let me know down in the comments all of your thoughts, and I hope you enjoyed listening to that along with me. You can click this playlist to go to my previous reactions, or you can subscribe to me next time I post a Twice reaction. I will see you in the next video. Bye.